Of all of the developed nations in the world, China is the most suspicious in pretty much everything it does. So this story may seem believable that they have confiscated gold from private vaults. Well, we'll discuss that question in this video as we explore. Now, the ultimate question is, did they do it? And really, we don't know for sure, but it's highly doubtful that it is occurring. And I'll tell you the reason why later in the video. But first, I want to remind you about channel sponsor Summit Metals. You can own gold yourself that likely will not be confiscated. And if you use a special code, Summit Salivate Summer, by the end of this month, by July 31st, you can save $10 off of every order over $500. SummitMetals.com, check them out with a fast customer service and quick shipping. Now, with gold, that's one of the big worries that we have. Here in the United States, we had Executive Order 6102 back in 1933 when Franklin Delano Roosevelt made the order to turn in all of your gold. Now, there was not an actual confiscation. There was not an actual seizure, but there was a strong, stiff penalty if you did not turn over all of your gold, save for $5 $20 gold coins or $100 worth of gold. And or collectible gold was exempt as well. Nonetheless, a lot of people did not comply, and they sent their gold overseas, and there weren't agents going door to door to actually take it. However, some of the gold vaults may have been seized at the time, and this is something that may not be out of the realm of possibility that could be occurring in a place like China. It sounds very believable. In fact, there are concerns, and there are some reports that have gone out, mainly stem from a video that came out on July the 12th that was shared with me by a member of the community, and I watched that video, and I was a little concerned about the content. It just seemed a little bit off, and I looked and I could see that it was altered content. It was YouTube marks these things as altered or synthetic content, where the sound or visuals were significantly edited or digitally generated. And that seems to be the case. There's some stock footage in there, and there is, the voice appears to definitely be something from a voice recognition software at the very least, but more than likely, probably, it just was generated, and likely even very close to AI. So, and when I watched the video, there's no real sources for any of this. It's just something that says that the scandal is exploding. The gold reserve scandal is exploding, according to the description. Private gold hoards are being seized. Vaults are going dark. And investors, of course, that's a question, and it's not a sentence. So the grammar is wrong on there. They're saying they're being wiped out. What Beijing once called strategic wealth is now being ripped out of private banks, out of hands. There's no explanations or compensation, just silence and fear. The word being silence. They talk about being taken in the dead of night, where there's no camera showing the activity. And of course, it's understandable because that sounds believable too. China is full of secrets, and there's a lot we don't know about their gold holdings, but they are one of the largest gold miners in the world, and likely their domestic gold is being stored away, and I would not be surprised if they have more gold than what they report. They want to have they definitely want to have the upper hand or be able to have a situation that can protect themselves because it's ingrained in their culture. Do they even really need, though, to confiscate private held gold? Well, I don't think so, and that's one of the other reasons too why I'm kind of questioning this, because you want to talk about riling up the people in China when it's such an ingrained part of their culture, where the government has encouraged its citizens to hold gold and also silver too. My guess is probably this is not happening, although in some other ways, the way they treat their citizens, some of this would not surprise me either. And they say that there's some people who are nameless that have reported and that this has occurred, and all these unnamed sources and statements and individuals who we don't know, big names and individuals that they don't really source out. So whenever you see something like that, where there's unknown sources or sources say and whatever, you should question it anywhere and everywhere. That includes Western media too. And so it's really tough to say exactly what's going on. And by the way, I don't rule out that there could be some of this happening, but looking into this, we can see that there's a lot happening here, and why this is happening. Rumors have gone around about this, but I want to set the record straight that there's not been any confirmed evidence of this occurring anywhere. And it's not to say that it's not happening somewhere, but there's just not been any confirmed evidence of it. So likely, it's probably not true, at least on a large scale, government seizures of privately held gold. But there are some reports of increased scrutiny of the holdings of gold, and according to those on their local authority, and a growing sense of unease among citizens there. Some local authorities have reportedly been asking residents to declare their gold holdings, and there are reports of audits of large gold holdings. Does not mean actual seizure, though, and who knows what the validity of some of those reports as well. Now, state-run media has also questioned the morality of excessive personal wealth storage, which has further fueled concerns. And so when you have little things like little nuggets of information like that, that means that more than likely it could bear into the rumor mill and just get this thing rolling even more. Now we have the Shanghai Gold Exchange, which controls the trading of gold in China. And we know that's a subsidiary of the People's Bank of China, which is state-run, and making it possible to confiscate gold held by individuals and institutions on the exchange, according to mining.com, and that's true. So they have the way that they could do it. They have the means to do it if they wanted to. But is it really happening? We don't know. And there's not been any official announcement or confirmation of large-scale confiscation. And so that is the one thing that we have to look out there and to see what's happening. Now, we do know that China has opened an offshore gold vault in Hong Kong to enhance influence in global gold trading. And we know that there is that growing influence. We know about the BRICS nations. We know that really, ideally, they'd like to be able to have something that competes with the dollar. And I know there's been long talk of a gold-backed BRICS currency, which may be a pipe dream down the road, but it's not happened yet. And I think it'd be quite a long journey there to compete with the dollar. I just don't think we're there yet. But this YouTube video that was published on the 12th of July, that there's been no explanations or compensations, and there's been nothing else to really show that there is any kind of validity to this. So we'll see. There's also a report that from Morningstar.com that says China may be secretly stockpiling gold. And of course, again, that was posted on the 19th of July, but we really don't know. We know China's central bank has been buying physical gold to add to its reserve for at least the past 3 years, and even more. There's growing speculation that the country may be purchasing even more of the metal in secret as part of a strategy to reduce its reliance on the U.S. dollar. And that is true. But nothing that says that there is any kind of happening of seizing gold from the public. Secret stockpiling, of course, if it's secret, then all could be all across the board as to what that means and what that could entail. Taking it from the people, or state-run mining and acquiring it and refining it and adding it to their vaults in secret without going through the exchanges, including their own, the Shanghai Gold Exchange. They can do that. They're essentially, it's a communist dictatorship, essentially. And so that's what we've got going on there. But what I find fascinating from this is that we can see that the rumor mill is spreading, and I wanted to just kind of give my thoughts on it. And I don't think that really we have any evidence that this is occurring. But the government control in China is something that is a concern. They hold significant control over the nation's financial system and institutions, and this obviously includes the SGE. And this tight control could enable quick confiscation should the government deem it necessary. So it's kind of already there, but that would involve gold not held actual in private hands. So this means that if you hold it, you truly do own it. If it's in a private vault, or if it's in a vault controlled by the SGE, well, good luck. If it's privately owned gold but it's held in the SGE, possession is 9/10 of the law. That's one of those general statements, and in a sense, they already kind of have it. You're just having it in there. So one can make that argument. Now, some speculate that in times of economic crisis or to support national interest, the Chinese government might consider confiscating gold in the future. But historically, governments, including the U.S., have resorted to gold confiscation. And the most famous one we've talked about here certainly is Executive Order 6102 by FDR. And some sources suggest that in the event of a crisis, gold held in bank vaults, particularly within the SGE system, might be vulnerable to government seizure. And that is very true. That is a real concern and could happen. So that's one thing we have to consider. So, but I don't think there's any official word on it. If you've heard anything different and have a legitimate source, I would love to know about it. But I don't see anything there that says that the Chinese government is doing it, at least not yet. I like to bring you the latest news in the world of precious metals. So if you found this video informative, insightful, and helpful, I hope you will consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already, pressing that notifications bell down here. And I want to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch, and to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.